In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how you can give your clients the best service outside of the therapy room to help you get and retain your clients for longer. Now, just a quick disclaimer that I am not a therapist and that I am talking purely from an administrative and private practice management point of view. So I'm not going to be talking about anything within the therapy room. I'm talking about everything that happens outside of it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kim. I help therapists in private practice get online, get confident with admin and reduce tech overwhelm. So let's jump straight in. I believe that in order to get good clients and retain them in your practice, it all starts right at the beginning before somebody has even contacted you. If you start right, give clients a great impression of how it's going to be working with you, they are more likely to want to join your private practice and stay for longer. So the first thing you want to do is make it really clear to potential clients that you are a good fit for them. So when it comes to advertising on your website, on Psychology Today or Counselling Directory, make it really clear who it is you serve and how you can help them. Because what you don't want is a load of clients that are not going to be a good fit for you and you're not going to do your best work with, because those clients aren't going to stay. Yes, it might mean you have more clients for a small amount of time, but you are not going to do your best work with those clients because they're not going to stick around very long, they're not going to get the best out of therapy, and you're going to feel disheartened about the whole process. So it really starts with you being able to clearly identify what type of clients you want and being confident with saying no to the ones that aren't right. Secondly, you want to make it really easy for those clients, the ones that have identified themselves and said, yes, this is the therapist for me, you want to make it really easy for them to book with you. Now, you might not want to offer a discovery call link straight on your website or on any of those directories. You might want them to contact you first because you might not have space currently or some other reason. But what you do want is you want them to be able to easily get in contact with you. So you want to put an email address on there. You want to make sure that you are checking your inbox regularly for these inquiries, including your junk or spam folders, because sometimes they can end up in there. And you want to have a really quick response that you can send to clients if you do want to book with them. And the best way to do this is add a link for them to be able to book a call with you. Now, if you don't want to use an EHR system, you can just set up a free Calendly account just for a discovery call and just add in the times that you want to be able to see potential new client, because you don't want all this back and forward. Are you free Tuesday at 2 p.m? No, I'm not. I'm only free on after 5 p.m. Okay, well, I'm free on Friday at 5 p.m. Well, I'm not free Friday 5 p.m. I'm only actually free on Monday. Back and forth, back and forth. They're going to think this is really hard to work with this person, so they're not going to bother. The other thing that's important to know, I think, is that when people are reaching out to you, they're probably reaching out to a handful of other people as well. Most people don't look for a therapist, find one they want and just send out an email and just hope that that person's going to come back. They're probably in the mood to find a therapist, so they'll be going through a directory or looking at websites and they're going to pick a few people, and what's going to happen is the first person that comes back to them, they're probably going to book with if it's easy to work with them. So you want to have that inquiry process really down so that you can make sure that you are the person that they are hearing from first. If you feel like you are so solid in your niche and your marketing and how you are speaking to potential clients, and you feel like that is really together and you know you're going to get the right people contacting you, adding that link to book a discovery call with you into your website or onto those directories can be really helpful, because then they're already booking with you to see you rather than just emailing a bunch of therapists. Okay, so you have got them booked in for a discovery call. The next thing you want to do is make it really easy for them to start therapy. So the first thing I would suggest is having some kind of script or some kind of procedure that you follow for a discovery call. Don't leave that to chance, don't leave that wishy-washy, and don't make it a therapy session for your client. You want to make sure you're getting the right information from your client, that you're giving them the information they want and need, but that it is timely and that you know exactly how that discovery call is going to go each time. The second thing you need to do on that discovery call is make sure that you know your schedule. You need to know what sessions you have to offer that client, whether they're weekly sessions or bi-weekly sessions if you offer that. So I've got another video called the Perfect Week time blocking video. I'm going to link it, and I think it's really important for you to do that work in advance so that you can make sure you have crafted how you want your week to look and what sessions that you want to be able to offer clients. You don't want a client coming to you and saying, I really want an evening slot, and you don't want to offer evenings, but you need the work, so you take them on, because eventually you're going to get resentful for giving up an evening that you don't want to give up. So making sure that the sessions work for you and the client is really important. And it's really good to have those boundaries of knowing, okay, I only have one weekly session available, which is Tuesdays at 2 p.m. If that person isn't going to be the right fit for that session, then there will be someone who is, but it has to work for both of you. The third thing is to be able to say your fee with confidence. I have spoken to a lot of therapists who tell me that they have a lot of clients on their reduced fee program. And I say to them, okay, well, how many people do you have on the actual fee? And usually it's 1 or 2, none. And I'm like, well, that's not your fee then. You need to be able to say your fee and stop talking. I know that a lot of people say, my fee is £80 an hour, but if you're not going to be able to afford that, then we can come to some arrangement. If you're adding in all of those words after but, the client's obviously going to jump on it and say, okay, well, this is what I can afford. And you're going to have some kind of like barter between you about the fee. Whereas if you make sure that your fee is clear on all of the directories on your website, you're really only going to get the people contacting you who can actually afford to work with you. So be able to say your fee confidently and stop talking. If you do have a low fee program, that's totally fine and great, but you want only a handful of people on that program. I would say between 10 and 15% of people, no more than that, because realistically, you need to earn a certain amount of money, and if you have everybody on your low fee program, it's not a low fee program, and you're going to just end up being resentful. You're going to be working for not enough money, and that is going to reflect in the service that you give your clients. The next part of making it easy to start therapy with you is once you've got off that discovery call and they have agreed they want to start working with you, it's to send them an amazing welcome email, and this email is going to have all the information they need. There's going to be no ambiguity about anything. It's going to remove a lot of their anxiety about their first session, because you're going to give them all the information, and that information is going to be things such as confirming their first appointment date and start time, confirming how often they are going to have therapy after that session, confirming how they will access the session, so whether that's a link that they need or whether that's an address and some details about how to get there, such as parking or public transport. It's letting them know if they're going to get any more emails, such as an appointment confirmation from your system or an appointment reminder, and when they can expect to receive that. You should also add in there confirmation of your fee and how you like to be paid, so whether you'll send an invoice, whether there's an invoice attached, whether you'd like a back transfer, whether you have a pay link. However it is, it doesn't actually matter. All of these things don't matter as long as you communicate them to your client. The actual, am I sending an invoice? Do I like to be paid weekly? Do I like to be paid in advance? You know, that's all your decision, but communicating it to your client is what's important. And then adding your boundaries as well, like your cancellation policy and how you will accept being contacted outside of sessions. So all of that information should go on your welcome email. And then you should have links to your therapy contract and any client intake paperwork or anything else you need to send out to your clients as links, so that they can easily complete them online. And that is jumping into the next section of being able to start therapy easily with you, is sending them their paperwork, so the information they need to have and the information you need from them, but sending it in a way that's really easy for them to complete. Now, there's a few different ways that I recommend sending this. You could use Google Forms, which if you're using Google Workspace, you can create a Google form, get a link and put that into your Gmail template. If you prefer to use an e-signature platform, I would suggest Signable. So you would upload the template add in all of the boxes where you want clients to be able to fill in their information, and you send it via signable. So in your welcome email template, you will say the forms will be sent to you separately via signable. Or if you're using an EHR platform like Power Diary, you can have the forms in Power Diary themselves, and then your welcome email would come from Power Diary and you would add the form link in there as well. The key is to make it easy for your client to complete them. You want them to be able to complete it online. You do not want them to have to print it off, write stuff, scan things back. You do not want that. So there are lots and lots of free and cheap ways that you can send your paperwork to your clients, and I would 100% recommend that you use one of these options. The next section of this video is about how to give the best service to your clients once they are clients. So we've talked about how to deal with inquiries and how to onboard clients, so you're getting the right people coming through your door and you are getting them to their first session, which is often the hardest one to get them to. So now you have got that regular client, you are seeing them on a regular basis. How are you going to keep them within your practice? It's really more of the same. You want to make sure you are making it so easy to work with you that it would be way harder to leave and start again. So part of this does start with the service that you are giving them within the session, but what I want to talk about is how you can give them the best service in the session based on the things that I know about. So for example, if you're using a system like a Power Diary, you can make sure that you are adding client notes within one system, and it's really easy for you to look at those notes before your session. You're not flicking through notebooks and things like that. So you can be really clear on what the last thing you discussed was, if there's anything really major going on in their life, if there's something that you should know about. You can get that information really quickly before the session so that you are giving them the best service within the session by knowing the things that they want to discuss. When they complete their paperwork and they give you information such as their contacts and things like that, it's about making sure that that's on the system somewhere. So this is why I'm talking about Power Diary. You can add contacts to your client to make it really easy for the right people to be notified about appointment reminders if they are children or couples that you're working with, or families, so that everyone is getting that appointment reminder who needs it. Also making sure that invoices are being sent to the right person, so you're not sending them to the client and expecting them to forward them on to the person who's going to pay for them. It's about when you ask for certain information from your client, you follow through with that. If they want the invoice sent to X person, then you make sure that you're sending it to X person. If they would like somebody else to get an appointment reminder for them to help them make it to session, then you are sending the appointment reminder to that person. And Power Diary makes that so much easier for you to do because it's a set it and forget it system. Once you add on this person is going to be paying, this person needs a reminder, then the system automates that for you. Talking about invoicing, you want to make it really easy for your clients to be able to pay you. Now, this can be done in different ways. I know therapists that just like to get back payments, and that's fine. But what you want to do is make sure that you're physically sending your client an invoice. And I would recommend, if you are asking for payments via backs, that you do it on more of a monthly basis rather than asking them to transfer you money every single week. That can make it much easier for them to manage their cash flow and also for you to manage yours. If you do want people to pay weekly, then I would suggest using a system like Stripe or PayPal, so that you can give them a pay link, so it's really easy for them to make payment to you. If you're using a system like Power Diary, you can automatically sync it with Stripe, so that when the invoice is created, it gives you a pay link which you can give to your client in the email template, and it's really easy for them to make the payment for you. If clients are behind with their payments, they're much more likely to cancel sessions, not show up to sessions and things like that, because they can feel bad about the fact that they owe you money. So making it easy for them to pay you can help you retain clients longer. The next way is to make sure that you are offering dedicated weekly or bi-weekly sessions to your clients, because if you are allowing clients to book ad hoc, they are more likely to not book in with you, and there's a lot more chasing for you to do as well. So you'll see, okay, well, John hasn't booked in for 2 weeks, I should chase him up. Whereas if you know that you are only seeing X amount of clients each week and these are their session times, they are much more likely to come, and they're much more likely to stay longer as well, because therapy will actually be working for them. People who are being more wishy-washy with their therapy are not going to get the same results as people who are regularly seeing you. And the final way is actually for you to stick to your boundaries. This can include your cancellation policy. So if people cancel at short notice, charging them for the session. It can be offering them the option to reschedule if you have space in your schedule, so that you're not losing the revenue for that client session and they are not losing their session for the week. It can be the payment policies, so making sure that you are sending overdue invoice reminders quickly so that they have the opportunity to make that payment and then come to the next session not worried about the fact that they know they owe you money. This can also be things such as missed session policies as well. So if you only let people miss a certain amount of sessions, make sure that you are enforcing these policies, because you being firm on these boundaries can help people come back to seeing you regularly rather than just disappearing off. It's making sure that you are giving enough notice for your own holiday and days off as well, so that they know that you are valuing them just as much as they're valuing you. And it's also making sure you give enough notice for things such as fee increases and any practice changes that you're making. Maybe you are stopping working face-to-face or you're stopping working online. It's making sure you're giving your clients enough notice that they can get their heads around it and come along with you, rather than feeling like you're throwing something on them and forcing them to do something that they have no choice over. So they are all of my ways that you can give the best service to your clients outside of the therapy room to help get and retain clients for longer. If you have any comments about ways that you think you are helping retain clients in your practice, please leave them in the comments below and help a fellow therapist out. And if you'd like to use Power Diary in your practice as an EHR to help you with some of these practices and procedures that I've talked about, I'll leave a link in the description and you can get 50% off the first 6 months plus 500 SMS text credits if you'd like to use them for appointment reminders. Until next time, thanks so much for watching.